Hello and welcome to the ATF Cast. That's anything that fires. Here we discuss firearms, science, the day-to-day, and whether you'd like it or not, we sure don't, politics. The bounds are unscribed, the beliefs full of dis, and the bifocals are just unacceptable. We are a pinch of halava and a heaping cup of I don't know what the fuck is going on. So join us on the journey of nonsense in an attempt to learn more while we try our best to put on a smiling face, keep our eyes upon the moon, and ride the waves of entropy in this ever-changing world. We are the ATF Cast, and we're just having fun.
Outstanding. Yes, we are.
I'm your host, Evan Halava, otherwise known as Fresh Airway on the social media platforms, and that is my dad. That's Matt Halava, otherwise known as Halava Matt on some social media platforms. You can find him on Instagram at Halava Matt, as described down in the bottom right-hand side of the screen. And this is episode 1 of Anything That Fires. So,
yeah, welcome.
Mostly here, we're going to talk about rockets and guns. That's two of my favorite subjects, and that's all been inspired by the old man there on the screen. I'm sorry, medium old. Won't brag you down too hard.
I'm not past my expiration date yet, so I'm not old.
Yeah, you got plenty
you
of
time.
time.
You don't call milk old until it's past its expiration date, right?
Well, you're starting to smell sour, so.
Nice. I shower.
All right. So, if you could describe to the audience what brought you into the firearm world, where it started. I know it started very early on. So just, let the people who may or may not watch this know what your qualifications are.
The qualifications? I'm a smart ass, so that gives me a lot of qualification in many fields because, being smart like that does. As far as firearms, growing up, shooting some guns, not a lot. We weren't a family. We didn't grow up as hunters and things. But we did learn firearms safety young and how to respect them, sight in, use them, all that stuff if need be. Nothing crazy. But then the majority of my training and experience comes from the military. So when I joined the Marine Corps, went in the Marine Corps as an open contract in the infantry, which meant I had no idea what my job was going to be. I just knew I wanted to find out what gear I was packing, right? What I could take. So I joined the Marine Corps. They made me an 0341 mortarman, which is an indirect fire specialist or whatever you want to call it. So that was a lot of math. And later I got into security forces, which is kind of like counterterrorism or prevention, right? So I got to get qualified on shotguns, pistols, which most of the military, you obviously get trained in rifles. But then I got to get qualified in many other of the firearm devices out there and just fell in love with it. So it was nice to be employed and get to use free guns, and the ammunition was paid for. So I didn't have to buy it. I just had to clean what they gave me to keep clean, right? So I had a great time.
Perfect. That's awesome. As far as my experience is concerned with the firearms, I think 98% of it was born from you. So growing up and playing with the toy guns and running around the backyard and, shooting Nerf at each other. And I know often when I was bored, you'd hand me some kind of Guns and Gear magazine or the Glock shopping manual or whatever it was. And, thumb through this, boy. And
thumb through this. You look bored. Here, have some fun.
Exactly. And watching James Bond and Tremors and shit like that. Eating frozen pizza and MREs on your floor. Fun weekends with Dad. And then I think you taught me how to shoot a BB gun to start. I think that was in the apartment in Columbus, shooting out a cardboard box. And
Yep, down the hallway.
yep. And then I think the first time I shot an actual firearm, if I remember correctly, was actually at Boy Scout camp shooting a 22.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then graduated from that with you and what did we call him? The scout leader.
Papu.
Yeah. You and Papu took Hunter and I to shoot your Glocks on one of the local ranges. So shot a 9mm to start, and watching Hunter shoot the 40 cal. He's a little scrawnier than I, so his hands were, flailing all over the place and just about slapping himself with the gun. And I was terrified for some reason. I was like, "Oh, I can't shoot that. Hunter's about to kill himself. He's about to hit him in the head." I'm pretty sure I started crying for a second. You're like, "It's fine, boy. Come on, come over here and shoot this thing." And then I was like, "Oh yeah, that's not bad. I don't know what's wrong with
Yeah,
him. This is
you'll be
great."
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All you have to do is hold it like I showed you.
yep. And then ever since then, thinking back to that smell and taste of the gunpowder and, trying to hit the target, I've just kind of been obsessed. And that comes from both, the pew pew aspect of it, loud noises, the romanticization of firearms through James Bond and everything, watching growing up. And also from the aspect of engineering, because I've always liked, trying to figure out how things get put together and work, and whether
Oh
it be
yeah.
engines or alarm clocks or what have you. So when I
Yep.
got to
You're
the
like that as little as possible. So as soon as you were able to crawl around and start figuring out what the heck and how things worked, you were trying to figure it out.
yeah, and then that graduated to eventually me having some adult money and working hard and buying guns and going crazy. So um, it kind of sucks right now with the state of the election and COVID and everything that has led to minimal supply in firearms and ammunition. So I've kind of recently been, delving deeper into some other hobbies just to preserve ammunition, but I'm still obsessed with it every day. I've always got a get home bag and at least 2 guns with me, and I live and breathe it most times. So,
And a medical kit.
and a medical kit. If you learn how to put holes in things, you should learn how to patch them too, as they say. So I've been delving deep into
Yep.
that.
Or if you work in construction or something of that nature, you should have a medical kit with you, right? Because
Absolutely.
some
There's
people would, well, I'm just going to work. Yeah, but if a piece of plywood slides off the roof and nails someone, or sheet metal or whatever, someone
yeah,
else might need a tourniquet. It's not just for a bullet hole.
absolutely. I work with some crazy saws and stuff. So for those of you listening, I'm an electrician by trade. I twist wires and make things blow up sometimes, and so there's a lot of things that could happen on the job site, whether it be losing a finger or part of your face, or you know. So since I've gotten that big medical kit, I've actually utilized it a lot more than I thought it would on the job. Whether it just be band-aids or having the medicines in there. Sometimes I'll be in an attic and start breaking out in hives, having some allergic reaction to, I don't know, 1920s asbestos or whatever's floating around. So
Right.
yeah, that's really become a big part of my day-to-day is the medical kit alongside of the firearms. So
Yeah. You need a boo boo kit along with the medical kit.
yep. So it's always a tourniquet close and medical shears and gauze and little band-aids and super glue and shit too. So got to keep the Benadryl and the Imodium close and be prepared.
The Imodium.
Yeah. Hey, you never know.
You never know. Right.
We're just working out of town for like 3 weeks and we ate way too much fast food and way too much grease. So, there's some moments I was thinking, maybe I should go to the drug side of the medical pouch because it's not a great day. I should be on the ladder, not in the bathroom. So it can come in handy.
Yes. So you need a little bit of everything with you.
Absolutely. So we'll talk about stuff like that on this show too, medical and anything that fires, of course. That'll really broaden some episodes. We're just going to talk about what we want. We're just here bullshit,
Yep.
and we thought the ATF name was a fun little twist. So we're going to start today with some rocket information. We've been gearing up to do this episode 1 for a couple weeks, so my show notes here have stuff going back a couple weeks and missing stuff that happened this week. So, we're going to touch base on some fun stuff and talk SpaceX and NASA and, some things that launch a lot of fire out at their back end when they're going to space.
Right. Yeah. It was very impressive stuff.
Yeah. So, the first thing, I know I've been talking to you a lot about the Starship prototype rockets that have been going on. For those of you that don't know, SpaceX, Elon Musk is building a giant 165-foot, that's the second stage, the top part of the rocket, 16-story rockets in the desert in Boca Chica, Texas. He's going to utilize these to go to Mars and the moon and just about anywhere else. With the first and second stage combined, this rocket's going to be just about 400 feet, about a 40-story building. And it's going to be the most powerful rocket that has ever
been produced.
Correct. So right now he's working on prototypes, which is just the top portion. Kind of looks like a giant dick sitting out there in the desert. He's got these little flaps on it. It's doing a weird landing maneuver. It's going to eventually launch up with its booster. Booster's going to come back, land down, and the Starship is going to, do its job. And when it re-enters Earth's atmosphere, it's going to come in a belly flop maneuver. So belly down to lose as much speed as possible.
Most wind, most resistance.
So it's basically going to fall like a rock sideways. It's a 16-story building falling sideways towards the Earth at terminal velocity. And then it's going to, at the very last minute, light its engines, flip around, recorrect, flip back vertical, and land perfectly. That's the hope anyway. And eventually he wants to utilize these to carry up to 100 people to the moon and Mars and get humans out into the solar system to become a multiplanetary species. So in that news, one thing that he wants to do with these rockets is utilize them for Earth travel, basically get anywhere in the planet Earth within 30 minutes. So basically
Great.
a really fast airline. And to do this, he wants to launch those rockets from sea. So SpaceX has bought 2 offshore oil rigs to support future Starship operations to launch and land on.
When do you do that? I didn't know he had 2 of them.
This article is from January 19th, so about a month ago now.
I've been busy.
As have I, and like I said, some of these show notes are a little old, so. But it's awesome. I guess some oil company was starting to go under, and he said, let me take 2 of those rigs. He bought them for $3.5 million each, and they have been named, I'm going to butcher these names, Deimos, and Phobos. I don't know. I believe those are moons of Mars. Is that correct?
I believe so.
So, yeah, he's going to chop off all the oil-related stuff, make it flat, put some tanks and stuff on there to fill his rockets with methane and oxygen, and it's looking like sometime early next year he may be utilizing these to launch and land on.
That's going to be awesome. Yeah. Phobos and Deimos are Mars moons.
Okay. So, yeah, his primary goal, going to Mars with these things. So that makes
his first target anyways. I mean, he's got to follow his car, right? Yeah. I mean, he's got a car floating out there on the way there. He's got to follow it up.
Absolutely. If anybody doesn't know, when SpaceX tested their Falcon Heavy rocket, which is basically 3 Falcon 9 boosters tied together with 1 payload attachment on it, he decided to launch his car. Usually when companies test rockets, they stick like a hunk of concrete or steel in the top to simulate a payload. And he said, oh, man, it'd be pretty funny if we put a car in it or something. And he looked in his garage and said, that's the one. So he put his custom candy red roadster in it and launched it into a Mars orbit. So that thing is going to be floating around between Earth and Mars for millions of years.
Yep, and he has a spacesuit in the driver's seat. I
Yeah,
think it's pretty awesome.
I think they called him Starman. And while the battery lasted,
Yeah.
he put "Don't panic" on the infotainment system. It's, throwback to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So,
Yep.
yep, there's a quite a peculiar little trinket of human civilization sitting out there. So that's pretty cool. And let's see here. Going next, probably also SpaceX news. Oh, actually, this one is not SpaceX, but still pretty interesting. Virgin Orbit, which is what's his name? The Virgin guy. I probably figured out if I can just click on this link here. It is a company. Richard Branson, that might be his name. If that's wrong,
Okay.
don't hate on me. But it's a company working on both a space plane for space tourism, and it flies up with a carrier plane. The space plane drops off of it and launches up into space with a rocket. That's going to be for space travel. Basically, anybody, if they have a deep pocket, will be able to buy a seat on it and take a little, short jaunt through space,
John.
a high atmosphere. And
Nice.
they are also working on satellite deployment options. So what they did here on what day was this? It was about a month ago, January 17th, the Demo 2 mission. So they took one of their Boeing 747s, being that they also own, Virgin Pacific, Virgin Atlantic, the commercial airline companies. They took one of those planes, stuck a big old rocket on it, flew that up to maximum 747 altitude, and then launched the rocket off of it into space to deploy some tiny little CubeSats. So I believe this makes them the second commercial company. Actually, second cannot be right. One of the first commercial companies to get satellites into space on their own accord. So,
Well, that's cool.
yeah, sitting here in the new space race, we're seeing all kinds of cool things come out. A whole bunch of different options for launch vehicles.
Yep. And then they're like, well, if he could do it, we could do it. Let's try something different.
Yeah, the amount of space startups that are popping up all over the place is insane.
Yeah.
I hear about a different one every day. You got like Rocket Lab, and I believe more recent one to come up into the situation is Firefly. You got SpaceX.
That was a good
Origin.
TV show.
I never even saw the TV show, but I hear it's really good.
I think you would enjoy it. It was fun.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, that's probably where their name was inspired from. They were flying through space, right, in that show?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's got to be right then.
Yeah, I would say so because the aircraft that they flew in was a Firefly.
Oh, okay. So a Firefly rocket to complement the TV show
There you
is
go.
on the way.
Right. Outstanding.
Continuing on here in space, SpaceX, I don't know what date this was, of course, lands a booster for the 8th time, which is, I think the record's actually 9, but this specific booster has gone to space and come back and landed 8 times. It was in highly abnormal wind conditions. The wind at the barge was excessive, much more than they're used to, and they still landed directly on the X. So,
right? Yeah, that was really impressive to watch.
Yeah, it's almost getting boring at this point. So they keep launching their Starlink satellites, 60 at a time, and it's like once a week almost. They come back and land the rocket perfectly, deploy the satellites perfectly, and it's such a mind-boggling feat. But at this point, they're so good at it, it's almost boring to watch. And that is just, I mean, that's awesome. That's a testament to their ability.
Right. It's almost boring to watch because, most likely it's not going to land in a huge explosion. So, we like seeing things, on fire. But the exciting thing is the progress that they're making, what's coming next.
Absolutely. So the first large handful of the Falcon rockets that were coming in attempting landings did land in a glorious explosion, which was very fun to watch. And that's what's happening with Starship now, which will actually lead us into our next story, which is one of the big ones that I want to talk about, is the SpaceX SN9 launch. So that's Starship serial number 9. That is its predecessor, or serial number 8's predecessor. SN8 launched last month. The first time they're launching this prototype with a nose cone on it, with the flaps that move, and with 3 engines. They flew it up to 12.5 kilometers, I believe. Hovered for a moment to reduce their fuel, turned off the engines, flipped around with their flaps, came in aggressively with their belly flop maneuver. Although, I mean, kind of smooth. That's the point of it. Maximum air restriction. So, looks really slow falling through the air for a 16-story rocket. And
It looks to be deceiving. That thing's.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I really need to see it in person, because even just watching all these live streams, I mean, you see a person standing down there, and I mean, they're absolutely puny in comparison. They look like an ant, but still, I mean, it's just an image on a computer screen, so can't yet grasp the size of it. But SN8 came down, relit its engines, flipped around, and almost landed. They had a issue with the header tank, so they didn't have enough fuel pressure, and the engines started eating themselves, burning engine rich, as they like to call it, which just means, eating themselves alive. So it had just a little bit too much velocity, landed almost vertically, and then exploded in a huge fireball.
Mm-hmm.
And
the cheers probably came out. Whoa, that was awesome!
Yeah,
like, yeah. We like to. We spent a lot of money on it.
Yeah, it was. It was super hype. Everyone was super excited about an explosion. It did way more than they thought it would. It was the first time trying that whole maneuver, and it went up and turned sideways, turned off its engines, came down, flipped around the whole 9 yards, and almost made it. And then, so SN9 happened. I don't recall what day it was. It was about 2 weeks ago. I was sitting in Canton, Ohio at a Jared Jewelers doing a lighting retrofit job, listening to the stream all day. Heard it was getting close, went to lunch, pulled it up on the laptop in the van, and watched this thing live. And I was pretty confident, due to how SN8 performed, that it was going to land perfectly. I was like, I mean, they almost had it last time. It's going to land perfectly straight up and down, no problem. And not quite. Didn't do quite as good as SN8. And the issue this time was they only had 1 engine relight, so they need 2 to do a little dance and flip the thing around, and then do their gentle burn and do a landing maneuver. So they had 1 relight, and it came in at about a 20-degree angle to the Earth and blew up and launched things as far as the eye could see. It was super cool. And so I was sitting in the van. I made Riley watch it with me. And afterwards, he's like, holy shit, I'm obsessed with rockets. I mean, like, he thought it was cool already, but I was like, yeah, watch this live. And he's like, whoa, wait, okay, how's that work? Why does that work? I need to know more. Let's watch rocket videos. So now we've been geeking out.
Nothing wrong with geeking out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So huge explosion. Out at the launch pad, they had SN10, speaking with a southern draw that doesn't exist, sitting out there.
SN10.
Everyone was concerned that, if something went wrong, SN9 would blow up SN10. And basically the consensus was they're rolling them out so fast, and it's a prototype vehicle, they didn't really care. But it didn't blow it up. It just got its engines earlier this week. It did a cryo test, tested its fuel tanks. It's set to do a static fire in the next couple coming days. And then it's going to do another Starship attempt to go up and flip over and, do the little dance. So that's going to be great to watch.
Yes, it will.
And I think they found a potential solution to the 1 engine issue. What they're going to do is light all 3 engines for the flip maneuver and turn off 1 if they have good burning on the other 2. So if they try to light 3, 1 doesn't light, they still have the 2 they need to flip around and land. So that's going to be their next attempt.
That makes sense. It's nice to be smart.
Yeah, it's I guess Elon is up there on that list.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's taking very good care of a lot of smart people that he hires.
Hope so. I mean, watching some of the footage of their launches and stuff, um, back before COVID, when they were allowed to stand close to each other, they're all standing in there in mission control, watching their rockets they've put all this hard work into launch and land, and the energy inside the room is just fabulous. I mean, everyone's just screaming and high fiving and chest bumping, and it's just a bunch of little space nerds working for SpaceX having a huge party because they're
Space
sending.
nerds nerding out all at the same time.
Yeah, and it
Yeah,
just like
nothing
gets
wrong
you
with that.
excited. So that's been going on. The Starship program is awesome to watch, and I'm obsessed with it. So if you like watching things explode and go really fast and do crazy maneuvers, you should check out some streams regarding these starships. I watch Everyday Astronaut and NASA Spaceflight on YouTube. They're always showing information, and it is super entertaining to see. I know
Most definitely. Yeah. If you're not sure that you're interested in it, still check it out because you're going to be like, wow, how'd they do that? And if you go, no big deal. I don't really care. Go watch something else. Right.
Yeah, I mean, worst case, watch a compilation of explosions because I haven't met one person that doesn't like to see something go up in a giant fireball. So if you have any
Right. I
doubts,
mean, well, it's just like someone who's not into cars, but they love watching a Mustang crash video, right? Watching person after person peel out into a telephone pole, wipe out a curb. Yeah, smash into their buddy's car. Ooh, I didn't know that was going to happen. Yeah, you messed up.
Yeah, weird things happen when you step on the gas in a vehicle you haven't stepped on the gas in. Check out my new Mustang.
Look what I can do. Oh, damn.
I guess I can't even do that.
I shouldn't have done that so quickly.
So yeah, SpaceX doing awesome things. Aside from their Starship situation, they have Starlink. They're trying to bring internet to everybody in the world with low latency. And they just announced this week that they now have 10,000 users in beta test, and they're getting, in some cases, up to a gigabyte of speed, which is
Really?
in most cases about 10 times what you can get through your cable provider.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, the cable provider slows it down, so you buy their extra stuff. Or you can get this booster. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. So
Sure, you can.
I'm excited for that someday. You just stick an antenna in your yard and you have high speed internet from space, nonetheless. So
Right? I guess you could take it camping.
you could. I've actually most of it currently in beta form is restricted to being in one location, just so that they are sure they're getting accurate information. But
Oh
we
yeah,
have
they got
seen
it.
people sticking it on RVs and shit already. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
Yeah, they need a good baseline of their analytics so that they can figure out where to go next. So yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and speaking of the Starlink satellites, SpaceX on their Falcon 9 rocket broke the record for the most, um, handmade satellites launched into orbit on one vehicle, which is 143 satellites. So, in that, yeah, it's a huge number. I mean, most of them are the size of like a shoebox called CubeSats. A lot of them are made by like college students and high school students just figuring out
Yeah.
electronics, and so they have some cool programs. Build a satellite, we'll launch it for you. But on this, they had, I think it was 10 of their polar Starlink satellites for orbiting over the polar region. And those are equipped with lasers so they can communicate with each other at the speed of light as opposed to communicating with a ground station. So now they're launching satellites that are talking to each other with lasers, and that is a sci-fi dream.
Right?
Yeah. So it's coming.
It's impressive. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Plus, I mean, a program. I mean, you got a college student that can make a satellite and they'll launch it for them. That's cool.
That's
right?
cool. Yeah, and then you can, pull out your little antenna and hear your satellite speaking to you when it flies overhead. So, I mean, that's awesome for radio nerds and space nerds and internet nerds and, everybody in between.
Mm-hmm.
So they got that going on. It's pretty awesome.
That's pretty awesome. I think it's pretty awesome that you could probably just take it camping at some point and just set it up and you have internet. Although I think camping, you really shouldn't have an internet. I think you should enjoy Mother Nature and go on a hike instead of sitting on your backside staring at whatever's in your hand or on your lap.
True. Yeah. When I get out into the woods, it is to stare at the trees and forget about technology. But at some point, maybe we'll be taking a camping trip and need to get an episode of the podcast out. So, there's always that.
Yeah, there's always that. So they can have its pluses, but minuses.
Absolutely.
So
as with
kind of
everything.
Yep. Many years ago, well before you were born, went camping with your mom and family, and she was like, "Yeah, you've probably never been camping before." I'm in the Marine Corps. Yeah. She's like, "Yeah, well, you probably just not camped. You went out." I'm like, "Okay, yeah." Grandpa shows up with a TV and a little generator thingy or a radio, and I'm like, "What is this?" So the campsite we have had electric hooked up. So he had his fan and a little air cooler thing. I don't know. Yeah. Whole bunch of stuff.
I'd be pissed if I was trying to sleep with, all the sounds of the bugs and everything, and I hear Grandpa's fan going. I've heard enough of that in my life anyway, but
that's what you heard.
Infuriating. Was he watching NASCAR all day?
Yeah, pretty much. Left turn.
Left turn.
Left turn.
Yep.
Girl, grab me a beer.
Yeah, drinking. What was he drinking? What's that? Bud Light or something was doing what's the beer mosa but with tomato juice?
Oh, yeah. I forget what the heck that was.
That's okay.
It was like a Bloody Mary.
Yeah. Fucking disgusting.
Yeah. Beer and tomato juice. And, I'd eat the olives.
Yeah. No, living at the Maple House, he ran the basement. He just existed down there, drinking his fucking Clamato, something like that, and his Arnold Palmers and fucking just his wintergreen dipspit everywhere. Ugh. Every time I smell it, I have flashbacks. It's not a good time.
I was gonna say, I forgot about that stink. Yeah, yeah. Sorry about that. Not my fault though.
Yeah, he's you'll have those kinds of grandparents here and there, right?
Yeah.
I guess so. out of 6, got one disgusting, and the rest are great.
That's a good thing.
Pretty good odds.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Did you happen to get back and watch any of that rocket explosion and stuff yet?
I did. You talking about the one that you watched while you're at work?
Yeah.
Because I was on the phone with some customers or whatever, so I couldn't watch it at that point in time. But later, I got to watch it. Pretty dang impressive.
It's huge. When it came in at obviously not the right angle, it was like, oh, it's gonna do a big boom.
I was like, oh, it's gonna do a big. Ooh, maybe they have another adjusting rocket somewhere that I don't know about. Maybe they're gonna show something off for the first time. Fooled you. We got one up by the nose to stabilize the top. I don't know. It was just like, yeah. Oh, oops. Yeah, they did it.
It was awesome. Elon was taking a Twitter break at that time too. So usually when we're watching that stuff, we hop right on Elon Musk's Twitter because he's like, "Oh, yep, oops, sorry, low fuel pressure, did a big boom," and but hopped on and he said, "Off Twitter for a while." And I was like, "Fuck, I'm not going to hear from him for a moment." It was
go potty.
25 hours. He was off Twitter, took a break.
Really?
Yeah, and when we hopped on, it was just memes. And then like, sorry, we were dumb, should have lit 3 engines. Also, here's more memes. And talking about Dogecoin and Bitcoin, and so it was highly entertaining. And
It is.
so in space, all the news is exciting and gets you looking forward to the future of humanity, and all the good
Oh yeah,
stuff.
it gives you the possibility of getting off of here.
Yeah, which
Right? If the world's turning stupid, a lot of people want to leave.
everybody's running out of California for Austin. They're going to be running out of Austin for Boca Chica, and hopping on those starships and going up to Mars.
Yep. They're like, I'm packing my bags. I'm out.
And then they'll be like, damn, this is one dusty motherfucker. Maybe I should have stayed.
What do you mean I have to dig a hole and poop in it?
In your spacesuit somehow. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. You dig a hole when you still got to poop in your spacesuit. Have a nice day.
So, aside from the pooping in a hole, all of that news is super exciting. I mean, shit in a hole, it could be a lot worse. But unfortunately, in the gun world right now, I mean, the best we're getting is some, new guns that aren't very exciting. They're just, copy and pastes with a new fun name or a different caliber, what have you. Whether you can find that caliber on a shelf or not, good luck. But most of
Great.
the news in the gun world is a little on the sad side. We do have 2 positive stories to talk about. One coming from Ohio, our homeland, and that is the Ohio Stand Your Ground bill.
Yep.
So I'm sure you've heard about this. You could speak on it a lot better than I could, being that you teach these classes and speak about the legalities of firearm use and stuff all the time.
No, I give horrible classes. No. The Stand Your Ground law is written and has passed, but it hasn't been established as of yet. It hasn't gone into effect. What that is saying is you do not have a duty to retreat, okay, when you're outside of your home, because the castle doctrine protects you while you're in your home. The home is your castle. Ohio also extended the castle doctrine to the home of an immediate family member, right? So mother, father, sister, something like that. Third cousin, no. Self-defense is still going to protect you there, but castle doctrine is extended from just your personal home to personal home of an immediate family member, along with your personally owned vehicle or the vehicle of an immediate family member, right? So if I'm going somewhere with my mom, something happens, she's driving, I engage, I'm more or less in my own home. So castle doctrine protects you there. Duty to retreat, you would have to show cause of why you didn't retreat. But then again, all aggression doesn't come slowly. Someone's not just walking up to you and being like, hey, as soon as I get to you, I'm going to try robbing you. It doesn't happen. It happens immediate. So when you weren't inside your home, you're out in public and you were attacked, you need to show why you couldn't run away, right? Why you attacked so soon, because you should have tried to get out of there. Now, if you're an attentive individual and you're looking around rather than staring at your phone or whatever, right? You don't need to. One of the things I hate at the gas station is that new little TV.
Oh.
And people just stare at that and they go, wow, look at that. I can get a slushie from inside. Okay. Or you can get robbed because you're not paying attention to who just walked around your vehicle, right? So pay attention to when you're doing things and you're out and about. The Stand Your Ground was set up so that if something did happen, you can protect yourself without having to run off, right? So if there is cause that there's really nowhere to go or a way out of the situation, you can stand your ground and defend yourself. So it was just another way to be able to protect people who are protecting themselves in a legal manner, right? It doesn't cover people that are carrying illegally or who are committing the crime, right? And it still won't protect you if you were the aggressor. So if you started out as the aggressor and then pushing someone around or road rage or whatever because you're having a stupid day, if you're the initial aggressor, well, you're the one that started it. You can't later say, well, I was standing my ground. How are you standing your ground? They're standing their ground. You started it, right? So I know that was a big loop of explanation, but the stand your ground law is just, it's not really, it's just a way to protect those who are out and about, minding their own business, doing things legally, politely, and then they're attacked, right? So once the aggression starts, you're allowed to be aggressive as well to defend yourself or defend family, others, right? Because you can protect strangers. If you're going to do that, make sure that what the situation is, right? That they're actually being attacked. If they're being arrested by an undercover officer, you don't want to be shooting an undercover officer, right? So you need to be sure of your situation. But for sure, if you're walking along or you're out and about and with your family, you're having a meal, whatever it is, and you're attacked or aggression happens and you defend yourselves, it's just a way to protect yourself, right? In a legal stance. So it's just an extra little umbrella help from keeping all the crap that's going to rain down on you afterwards.
Well, good. I think that's, I mean, it seems as though that should be a fundamental right. Not that it should be. I think that it is a fundamental right. I don't think that you should be required by law to try to run away when someone's being an asshole or trying to stab you or something in the manner.
Right. I mean, some states, if 5 guys kick in your front door, you and your family members should jump out the windows or run out the back door. You have to get away. It's like, wait, I can't defend my home. You're like,
yeah, that's insane.
No.
That's your castle. I mean, it's a good name, the castle doctrine, because that's your property.
Exactly.
That's your livelihood.
Yep.
It's your foundation for who you are. If someone kicks in your front door, fuck them. I mean,
exactly. Some other states said, well, that's ridiculous. You don't have to leave your home, but you do have to run at least 3 rooms away before you can engage them to show that they were actually chasing you.
No, I was pulling out a measuring tape, seeing how many footsteps you took before you shot.
Right. They're like, well, you only ran to the bathroom and that was 1 room away, and they ran in there after you, so you had to kill them. You choked them with the shower curtain, but okay, well, they were after me, right? So, or if you make it to wherever your firearm is, if you're not wearing it at the time, then yeah, you should be able to engage violence with, I think, more aggression and more violence to be able to protect yourself and the ones that you love efficiently.
Yeah, I don't think it's an equal. It's not an equal playing field. If someone's coming at you, you can't just match their aggression and hope to come out of it, standing in a good state. You gotta give it your all. Come at them with 10 times. Otherwise, you're completely risking your livelihood, your survival.
Yeah, you're risking your life and the lives of those that you need to defend. If you have little ones that can't defend themselves, you're their only hope, right? So if you're taken out because you're over there trying to slap someone who's punching you, it's not going to work. So if they kick in your door and there's 5 of them and they have firearms or knives or bats, or they grab your own lamp and you shoot them, yeah, you should be allowed to do that because you're defending yourself and others from serious bodily harm or the threat of death.
So it seems as though Ohio is moving in a positive direction as far as gun legislation so far.
I think it's very positive. I know some other states are opening up to Constitution carry, right? So which I think is great because we all have the right to bear arms. So would I like to see some people have some training and some experience? Yeah, absolutely. Not because I think anyone who's trying to be a law-abiding citizen is going to be doing anything wrong with a firearm, right? But they should have the basic safety understanding of it, right? Now, if they have that down, okay. They should have some training that will help them protect themselves, right? And just having the firearm on you and be able to pull it out and start pulling the trigger, you might not be very efficient. And we are responsible for everything that comes out of that firearm. So every time that the trigger is depressed and a round is fired, we're responsible for that. If we're missing the threat and it's skipping across the ground and hitting Nana across the street in the knee, I now owe Nana a new knee. So you should be more efficient. The best way, right? So, and the best way to prevent over penetration is hit your target in the right spot, right? So,
which is the possibility of which is greatly increased with proper firearms handling training.
Yes, and you can get a lot of good training from plenty of people probably in your state, right? So some of the basic firearm instructors or anyone that teaches concealed carry, that's a good step. Now you can get advanced training and everything. You can get some really good information off of the internet, depending on who you watch, right? So Warrior Poet Society, yeah, thumbs up. Somebody else, I don't know. I don't want to say names or whatever that I don't like. But there's some of those instructors out there that are talking, oh yeah, you do a backflip and a belly roll and this, that, the other, and then you pull the gun out and why?
Well, you got to lead with a backflip because that might scare them enough. Be like, oh, this guy can do a backflip. I shouldn't have fucked with him.
Right. This guy can do a backflip, or he can look like he's sliding into second base as he draws his gun and starts shooting. Okay, well now you got to get up and run because you missed.
Yeah.
So,
my knee.
Oh, my knee. Oh, I landed on my keys. It stings.
Ow.
Great lady. Ow. So, yeah, you're probably going to get hurt in some sort of manner if you're in a fight. Right? If you can see the fight before it happens and you can get the heck out of there, do it. Right?
Yeah, I mean, if you told me the supreme rule in knife fighting once, if I remember correctly. The first rule of knife fighting is you're going to get cut.
Mm-hmm.
I think that carries on to all fights. I mean, not that you're going to get cut in a fist fight, but yeah.
Well, there's going to be some type of laceration from a punch or whatever. I mean, fist fights turn deadly too. So there's plenty of injuries in anything. Do I know how to fight? Yes. Am I good at it? I'm pretty decent. Do I want to get in a fight? No, they hurt. Right? Even if you win, you're still going to hurt for a long time. Right. So, I don't like fighting just because it hurts.
But you got to maintain the integrity of your joints and all. So.
Right. I don't want to bust a hip just standing up. Keep laughing. Anyways, the more good information that you have and the more training that you have, the more efficient you can be. Right. Some things are scary. So some people are absolutely scared of guns. I've taught many people who was their very first time with the firearm. I had one lady that I was teaching. She brought a hand towel with her. So you give her one bullet, she'd fire that shot, she'd put the gun down, she'd dry her hands off. She was petrified. She maybe not petrified because she didn't just stop. She was still learning. But it took, I think, 5 private lessons before she took one of the concealed carry classes, and she now owns 3 pistols instead of just the one, right? So she was able to expand her comfort zone and her experience and slowly build on that, right? So there is a lot to learn in concealed carry. It's not just grabbing a gun and going, which is efficient, right? It's one of the best ways to protect yourself and the ones you love. It's the best tool that you could possibly carry with you, in my opinion. But knowing how to use that tool is going to be more useful. So training.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's important. Constitutional carry, I do think. I mean, again, back to the castle or the stand your ground bill. I don't think it should even be a discussion. I mean,
Right.
We, of course, as laid out pretty early in our holy documents, have the right to bear arms, and yeah, any requirement for a license, and you need to have this many hours in a class, or you need to give us this much money. I think that's just completely.
Well, what government program actually works well, right? And for them to go, oh, right, yeah, I can't think of one that's efficient. There might be some out there. I don't know, doubt it. But for them to say, okay, all of you who have firearms, you all have to pay $800 in order to still own your firearms. You have to pay the government $800 for insurance so that you can, carry your firearm. We don't pay the government insurance for our vehicles, right? So why do I have to pay insurance? I mean, I'll grant they made that a law, but it shouldn't be a law with concealed carry or firearms in any way, shape, or form. Because I'm wearing a really awesome shirt by Shall Not Comply, and it says shall not be infringed, right? That's part of our constitutional right.
And while many things in the world are not black and white, that right there on your shirt is pretty black and white.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of gray area in things in the world, but shall not be infringed, I think, is pretty well laid out.
Yeah, it's not a complicated lawyer write up, right? It's not some government document that you're trying to figure out. It's a government document that says shall not be infringed. Plain and simple. Anybody can understand that, right?
Yeah, most of the times I can't English real well, and I can understand that pretty well.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, even if they can't English well, or a good speaker, talk person, they should be able to understand that, right? And for the government to say, okay, y'all give us $800, it's only $800. How many people just only have $800 a year? Hey, no problem. It's just $800. Okay, no, because that's an infringement. Plus, there's it was January, over 2 million background checks were done. So let's say each of those background checks did result in a sale, even though some of them didn't result in a sale. Let's just say all of them did. So there's 2 million more people that own firearms. 2 million times 800. That's a lot of money. And where does that money go that the government collects? Does it go into an insurance thing in case someone accidentally shoots their thumb off while they're at the range, or shoots himself in the thigh because they weren't sure how their leg rig worked or whatever? No, that's going to go into their pocket or go overseas for figure out why fruit flies are fruit flies.
Yeah, I think much more likely it would go overseas. I mean, that's,
or at least they say it goes overseas.
Right. Black ops and just all the little government fucked up secrets that we're funding and we don't even get to know about. It's I mean, maybe an unpopular opinion, but I think they take enough of our hard-earned money to supply their own goals as it is, providing them $800 a year, whatever is proposed in HR 127, would just be absurd.
Yep. That would be absolutely absurd because there are plenty of families out there that can't afford that.
I mean, there's
So
plenty of
now
families
you're
out
going
there
to
that
take
can't
away
afford the life insurance that's required.
their
Um, health insurance. Sorry. You got to register your vehicle at absurd dollar amounts. You're required to have vehicle insurance. You're required to have, I mean, just the list goes on with requirements for insurances and licenses and registrations and stuff. I mean, it's already plenty of money when there's a large sum of people in this country that can't quite get enough food to, keep a healthy weight or, I mean, it's
right.
all of your money for overpriced rent and for all of your carb requirements to get to work. So, there's a lot of people in this country making making a low amount of money and spending it all on legally required insurances and things. You just keep
Yeah.
checking
They're
it off.
law-abiding citizens that want to do things correctly.
Yeah, they're trying and they keep making it harder. It's almost
Yep.
as though there's some kind of goal to make more criminals out of people. But I mean, that's more on the conspiracy side of things. But I mean, it's just keep
Well,
asking for
if
more and more. It's how far can it
you
go?
give a mouse a cookie, they're going to
Mm.
want a glass of milk, right? Give them an inch to take a mile. So the government, unfortunately, if you give them an inch, they want to take 30 miles. Okay. And some of these people, one, they don't understand firearms in any way, shape, or form. I don't think they ever fired them. Some of them never held them. The information that they're given is wrong, or the information that they regurgitate that they heard, they regurgitated incorrectly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forget his name. Like the one guy talking about the ghost gun that it, has a 30 caliber clip and fires all 30 caliber clips in under a second.
Yeah.
No, that's a Claymore mine, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, no
I'm
firearm
not
does that.
speaking to the public ever, or, I'm not in a high power position, and I still try to do research before I speak on a subject that I may know nothing about. I
Yeah,
mean, it's if I don't know shit about it, first of all, either I'm going to read something about it or I'm going to pass the puck on to someone else that knows what they're talking about before I just go and,
right.
just speak misinformation. I mean,
Yep.
especially when
They're like, hey,
you're,
here's a photo op. You can tell them what's horrible about this.
yeah,
Oh, this is horrible, but I said all the wrong things. You're an idiot.
especially when you're an elected official that gets, all these uh, vacations every year and makes all this
Mm-hmm.
money. You don't have the time to sit down and research a topic before you try to make a law about it or just speak
Right.
on it and scare people regarding that topic. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Put yourself in their shoes and how would you like it? Because most of them, hey, let's take guns away. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. The American people don't need guns. Okay. Well, why is it the American people don't need guns? Does that mean all the illegal aliens that are here, they're allowed to have guns? Just American, or is it our leaders? And they're not leaders, they are representatives, right? We
Correct.
give them power. They are our representatives. They're supposed to represent what we want to happen.
Which
But they
is
don't. Even that guy, the 30 caliber clip ghost gun.
an old clipazine fella.
Yeah, I forget his name. I'll have to look it up. Um, Recently, he was asked to say the Pledge of Allegiance at the opening of their meeting, and it was embarrassing to listen to him stumble over it and restart like 3 times because
Mm.
he couldn't even pledge allegiance to the
Well,
flag.
see, yeah, there's a huge difference between somebody that hasn't said the Pledge of Allegiance since they graduated high school 12 years ago and
Right.
it's not something that happens often in their life. There's a huge difference between that and an official that is supposed to represent us and the country that is the United States of America. They can't say
Yeah.
like one of the two basic fucking, speeches. Not even a speech. It's a fucking little diddle. Like,
Right. I mean, I have it hanging up on the wall in here. So, but if they tell you you're going to be the one opening it, I mean, he could have at least pulled it up on his phone and read it twice.
yeah,
Right.
you
Before
don't have
saying
somebody working for you to print it off for you real quick. Come on, there's
You wanna
printers
open with
everywhere.
that? Yeah. Yeah. Pledge allegiance to the
Lobbyists of the central banking system of the world.
Yep, the ones who rip off everyone and make more money themselves.
All that negative talk and the insurance and
Look
all
at
this
that
and that,
inflation.
that leads us into, continuing this conversation. HR 127. I'm sure you've heard about this.
I've heard about it.
Yeah, by Sheila Jackson Lee, Democratic representative from Texas, the 117th Congress, has introduced HR 127, which is a gun, what she would like to refer as a gun control or a gun safety bill. A gun safety bill. It is absolutely an infringement bill. What they're proposing here as a whole would be the licensing of firearms and ammunition for possession of any firearm or ammunition. So again, with
Nope.
no, take more money for a license that is a basic fundamental right. They would also like to impose an additional license to display an antique firearm in the home. This falls in what they want you to provide proof that you have a storage location that is a safe and that you will keep your firearms in it unless in use. And in use basically means tiptoeing over to the range, not putting ammunition in it unless you're looking at paper and, the whole 9 yards of gun safety.
Right. And they also want that all that information is going to be public record. So that means anyone can look up to see what firearms I own and what rooms I keep them in my home.
Yes,
right?
Anybody.
Then they could look up where I live and probably look up the floor plan to the home, right? I mean, if they wanted to. Now, granted, that's pretty excessive. Most people aren't that smart.
It is
but
excessive.
It
yeah,
is plausible,
and
right?
it's not only accessible to private citizens, but it will be from a federal licensing standpoint that'll trickle down to be accessible from the state level and from the local level also. So if at any point there does come the day that a government agency, whether it be local, state, or federal, wants to come and take firearms by force or by kindly asking and then using force, whatever it may be, they'll all be able to access that information.
Mm-hmm. And they've done it before.
And at any point that has happened has led to some very dark moments.
Yes, unfortunately.
And I thought as a civilization that we were trying to move as far away from dark moments as possible, but it seems as though the governments of the world are trying to impose darkness at increasingly high rates.
Right. I mean, it's none of their business what I own, right? It's not their business what watch I wear. Okay. It's not their business what shoes I use. Okay. That's not their business. It's not their business to know whether I have firearms or not, and then to register them. And if you register them and you pay us money, then we know where they are and everyone knows where they are. And you're okay because they're now registered. And once you register them under her act, I believe that means that they will not need any probable cause to come into your home. They're allowed to come into your home at any time, any day, any hour, and take a look at your guns, make sure that you still have them, or take them with them if they think that you might be a threat. Because someone that you were dating and you guys broke up, went and said that you're not very nice. So they go, oh, well, we better go take all their guns. They got guns. This person has 3 guns and 400 bullets. Oh my gosh, you could start a war. Or she, right? There's plenty of female firearm owners. So they go into your place at whatever time and take whatever they want. It's not theirs to take. It's not their right to know, right? And why are you going to make that public? Okay. Does anyone know what banking institution I use, what accounts I have? You know, if I have a 401k, who manages that? Why would that information have to be public? That's none of your business. So firearms shouldn't be anyone's business, especially the government's.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they are representatives after all. You can't just.
And I went on a little tangent. You can keep talking about HR 127. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. We like tangents. Let me get back to. I'm having computer confusion. Let's see here. Yes, HR 127. So, as far as reading from this website, let's see. As a whole, they want to impose licensing of firearms and ammunition. Went over that. The separate license to display antique firearms. They want to impose yet again another license for possession of military-style weapons. That's weapons. That is firearms. You need to quit labeling it as military style. Yes, firearms are often utilized by the military because weapons are weapons. But if it goes bang, then it's just a firearm. Let's stop making it such a crazy difference between the two, right?
Well, military style. Some people go, well, you know, other guns are safe. Well, not really. Patton had pearl-handled revolvers, so that would be a military styled gun. I mean, he was in the military and he carried revolvers with him. So revolvers would then be classed in that as well. So it's not just a big scary bang, bang, bang gun that you see 40-year-old adults who are on the news and they shoot it and they have post-traumatic stress disorder and fear because they pulled the trigger once. And then you see a 6-year-old girl rocking the thing, right? And going, wow, that was fun.
Okay. Yeah. Have you seen that girl shooting dual wielding Glocks or whatever?
Yes.
It's fabulous.
That young lady is awesome. I follow her on Instagram and she's just adorable, right? And I don't want people to go, oh my God, yeah, because a kid's shooting a gun, that's adorable. No, because she's shooting it properly. She was shown the right way. We can teach kids to be safe. Oh, so you don't have a stove or any knives in your home or a grill in the backyard? No, I have that stuff. Well, how can you have that stuff? You can't teach kids not to not use them properly. Well, I taught my kids how to use the stove. Oh, so that they would be safe. Well, yeah. Oh, okay. So why don't you teach them firearm safety so that there can be some safety, right? The Pew Pew Jew, he has some good books out there for kids. The ABCs of gun safety and everything. There's smart ways to do it. The safer that you are, or the safer you want your children to be, the more information you should give them, right? So when you and your sister were little, and I would come home from the range or whatever, and I'd show you how to make sure that the firearm is empty, no bullets in the area, right? This is how you take the gun apart. You guys would help me clean it. You explained all the parts, how they worked, put it back together. It's nice and clean. Wash your hands. If you want to look at it, that's fine. But now I'm going to put it away. So you're not allowed to touch it until the next time, right? So, but if you want to see it, ask.
Right.
You guys are like, okay, yeah, it was no big deal. Yeah. Now that way, when you're little, if you go to a friend's house and they go, hey, you want to see my dad's gun or my mom's gun? You go, yeah. my dad lets me help him clean his guns, and I get to see them anytime I want. So, whatever.
Yeah, I don't need to be in a extra dangerous situation. I don't know you folks.
Right. Sorry, back to HR 127.
It's okay. Military-style weapons. Talked about it. It's ridiculous. They want to impose a mandated firearm liability insurance with a yearly fee of $800 payable to the U.S. Attorney General. Again, we kind of talked about that. It's ridiculous. Quit requiring us to have insurance if we want to take the risk and have to pay out of pocket for whatever may happen.
But they say that you have to pay $800 for insurance, but where's the insurance policy? I haven't seen anything that says the insurance policy will cover this, this, and this.
Exactly.
It's saying insurance. So you're going to
give like second call defense. Is that insurance that provides me, a proper lawyer to come in when I'm in a self-defense shooting situation, if that ever happens,
or is it for my bail? Does it help in any way?
Likely not, but that's not even detailed in here. And again, they would like to impose a detailed federal firearm registry system to which the public, all federal, state, and local law enforcement, all governments, and all branches of the U.S. Armed Forces have complete access to. So basically, yes, anybody can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Egregious. Now, the licensing requirements for the possession of firearm or ammunition, which means you have to complete these steps to even possess a pew-pew machine or the pew-pew seeds. You must be 21 years of age. So no shotguns for you youngins. You have to undergo a criminal background check, as if that doesn't already occur. You have to complete a minimum of a 24-hour training course certified by the U.S. Attorney General. Now, talking about how efficient the government is, I don't trust them to choose approved training courses, let alone do I think they should have the right to require this.
Right. Now, is that 4 6-hour classes, or is that 3 8-hour classes, or is that, how is that going to work?
I don't know, but let's hop on into some levity here.
There's no plan. They don't explain any of it. They're just saying, hey, this is going to be required.
Well, yeah, that's classic. Here's a bill. It sucks. We should approve it because it makes us more money and restricts the rights of the people. But on a positive note,
go to a 24-hour class, and part of that's held each or every other month. So it's going to take over a year for you guys to be able to get your, there's going to be more crap somewhere along the line to step in.
Yeah. And we're not trying to step in crap. We're trying to hang out with our friends and have a good time. And speaking of which, we are actually about to have a special guest for a moment here, tuning in to episode 1 of the ATF Cast. It is Sick Nick, otherwise known as Gunsplaining. And there he is.
What's up, fellers?
Nick.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad.
I see you guys have been at it for a while.
We have 1 hour.
Yeah, we just
minutes and 40 seconds.
We kind of forgot.
This is what you're going to put your guests through every week.
Yep. Error.
So I heard HR 127. What else have you all talked about?
We talked about some rockets. We talked about the Stand Your Ground bill here in Ohio.
Don't know much about that.
Well,
the one that DeWine signed a couple weeks ago.
Correct. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Cool.
Removes the duty to retreat. So you're a little late to the conversation, but if you'd like to talk about this with us, it's a Tennessee bill that would require public schools to educate children about gun safety on a yearly basis.
Interesting. I don't like the word require when it comes from the government, but they're going to require that kids get their butts in seats for other things. Maybe that's not such a bad thing to teach them.
I mean, if we're gonna,
what are they going to teach them though? Like, what's the curriculum? Guns are always bad, no matter what, and stay away from them. Or are they going to teach them properly how to use them?
I think I put this in here because it was on the positive note of things. Let's see, reading from guns.com, the measure SB 227 / HB 103 would provide annual training for students in the earliest appropriate grade through grade 12. Current law allows for non-compulsory gun safety class. The new proposal, introduced this month by two Republicans, State Senator Joey Hensley and State Republican Brandon Ogles, will bring the instruction to a broader audience. So let's see here. It would once created, each local school district and public charter school will provide 15-minute instruction annually, either through video or online materials, starting in the 22 to 23 school year. The instruction has to be neutral on the politics around guns, and it will be up to each school to determine how to best incorporate the module into the school year. So, looking here, it's supposed to be a non-biased, just information regarding how to handle firearms and how to respect them. Now, 15 minutes is a little low. If we're going to educate kids about
15 minutes.
Yeah. I mean,
Right?
Here's a really shitty video for 15 minutes. Now, you guys are fine. Go out there and touch guns. That doesn't seem like it's exactly the best thought out thing, but I think it may be a step in the right direction.
If they taught it every year to every kid, from kindergarten on, I suppose by the time they were old enough to know what a gun was, maybe it would have sunk in. But I don't know. Again, I think it depends on the message. What are they trying to teach them? Like the don't touch a gun, run away and tell a grown-up is good for little kids. But if you keep doing that as, a junior high school kid, that's just promoting. That's promoting whatever agenda they want to promote.
Right. A junior high kid, you got to tell them, well, hey, don't touch it because you don't want your fingerprints on it when the police come and find it.
Right.
You need to start giving them some different information.
Get all of your friends to touch it for you.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
I need you a burner, brother. A little bit of spark tape on there.
There you go.
Dude, there's programs out there like Eddie the Eagle, right?
Mm-hmm.
NRA. I mean, there's programs out there, and those programs will get flack from people. Go, oh, how dare you try to teach things to kids about guns? It's safety, right? It's the same thing. How dare you tell my child not to run with scissors?
What about not drinking Drano? I could have had a lot of positive experiences, but they drilled that into my head.
Right? You never tasted a Tide Pod either. So you understood.
You're missing out.
No,
I mean, they've got such great flavors.
Yeah.
Tidal Breeze.
Common sense gun laws. We already have common sense gun laws. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't have common sense.
Yeah, right. Right.
So gun safety is the first common sense to handling a firearm safely. That's why they say it's the most important thing. Gun safety. Learn the safety rules first. So, I mean, by rights, you shouldn't have to tell a child not to French kiss a wall socket, right? Don't stick your tongue in a wall socket. Don't look down the end of a barrel, right?
Right.
Keep your finger off the trigger. There's plenty of things. I know I'm being a little silly, but there's plenty of things that we teach the young ones to keep them safe. Why can't you teach them gun safety?
Yeah, I think completely
excluding it yearly. Was it 3 5-minute videos? Is that 5 3-minute videos? I mean, is that just one 15-minute video?
I imagine it's a really poorly done video by some dude working in the government that was tasked to make a safety video, and was like, I don't even know how to do that. And you're like, well, that's too bad. You're the one that's on the table.
Maybe the better schools will have longer training.
Maybe they'll have a 1978 video from the FBI on gun safety.
Right. You get like regular guns for the stupid kids and then AP guns for the smart kids.
AP guns, yeah. And if you're in a rural school in the holler, it's just completely not required.
Yeah, right.
They're like, if you don't know this by now, you're done anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Instead of a training video, it's bring your shotgun to class day.
Yeah, show and tell.
Clean them together. Yeah. This is my Paps. I've been shooting coons with it for many moons. Please don't take that wrong. I do mean raccoons.
No, Johnny, you're supposed to bring your own gun. You can't bring your dad's gun.
Mine's in the shop.
I think that back to the common sense thing. I think that I don't know. It seems like kids have less of it these days, and I think that it's because schools are promoting the idea of giving up common sense. Well, you don't need common sense. You just need to listen to whoever's above you, and they'll do your thinking for you. We've been outsourcing our critical thinking for a real long time, and if kids were encouraged to use that common sense, it would become common again, and you would have, less issues with guns or whatever, drinking and driving, drug overdoses, any of that stuff.
Right. I mean, people texting and driving kills more people a year than firearms, right?
I'm sure it does. I'm sure.
Injures more people. Oh, well, that gun is bad because it made a loud noise and scared me.
Mm-hmm.
So does thunder, right? Some people get hit by lightning. Yeah, that's sad.
Right.
A lot of people in deserts drowned because of flash floods, right? So,
yeah,
nature happens. Some of the common sense is, what's that?
The greatest source of fear is the unknown. So as long as we keep people in the dark regarding anything, they're going to be afraid of it because they don't understand it. They don't care to because they're taught that it's, some kind of devilish world, firearm use. So yeah, they're just going to be completely ignorant regarding
maybe that's the point.
Yeah.
It is the point.
Keep them in the dark.
Yep.
So from that standpoint, even a 15-minute video would be beneficiary to the overall fear level regarding firearms. The old lever.
The old lever. Pull it. Let's see what happens.
So hopefully that does, if it does happen, it leads to positive results as opposed to, furthering an agenda.
Right.
Let's see. This is another positive. I'll open it up here so I can see some information. An Alabama bill intended to block new federal gun control laws. A former police chief who represents a Mobile County district in the Alabama House is sponsoring a bill intended to block state and local authorities from enforcing any new gun control laws passed by Congress or gun regulations ordered by the president. No, this is a preemptive act to just guarantee that they maintain their level of firearm freedom in Alabama.
I like it.
I like it. And
kind of goes along the lines of. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just, people want to always pass gun control. We need more gun control. Well, how about drunk control? How about drug control? Well, there's drug laws. Yeah.
How would they work?
Right.
Yeah,
how would they work?
Enforced by tanks and assault weapons because somebody's trying to smoke a doobie in their free time.
Right.
More people are killed each year by a hammer than they are by a firearm. So do you need a background check when you go to Home Depot or, one of the big box stores or anywhere to purchase your hammer? Do you need to be 21 years of age before you can purchase a hammer?
Well, you do.
Right?
And you also
what's the regulation on that?
And hammer insurance at $800 yearly.
Right.
Perfect. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
You
can only get a wooden hammer. You can't get an E-swing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Not that full steel shit. And no assault nails.
Right. That's an assault hammer.
That's a military styled hammer right there.
Mm-hmm. What's a sledgehammer?
That's like arty.
It's basically artillery.
That's great.
And let's not get into full automatic jackhammers.
Oh yeah,
semi-automatic, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, does my hammer drill qualify as an AOW?
I don't know. Do you have an 0702? Is that a post dealer sample?
Yeah, my 12-volt one's actually legal, but the 18-volt is an assault.
Oh yes, too big a caliber. There's no sporting purpose of it.
Nobody needs to drive lag bolts, brother.
Right.
Not in this economy.
Speaking of which, I don't know if it's like that for you guys, but like, where were we just the other day? I'm expecting the economy to tank at any point, but they're still building crap like literally freaking everywhere. And I just have this ominous feeling like it's going to be 2009 again. We're going to have a bunch of empty buildings sitting around waiting for people to rent them.
Let me pull a savage here. Have you guys invested in cryptocurrency yet?
No, but Andrea's playing stocks. Stonks.
Yeah, dude. Awesome.
Nice.
I've made like $2,000 this year on stonks.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
She's getting all grown up.
I don't know what she's done. I know she sold her Disney stonks a couple days ago because they fired Gina Carano, but that's all I know.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I know a bunch of people who did that.
Good.
Yeah.
Let's not manipulate, but
well, it's called voting with your dollars.
yeah, absolutely.
The best way to get your voice heard is how you choose to spend your money because people are really paying attention to that.
That's how American politics are voted for anyway.
Wait, what?
Money, lobbyists.
Oh, okay, sure.
Big government.
The real government, the people who are actually pulling the strings.
Yeah, the Illuminati. Man, it's really weird trying to make triangles in them. Oh wait. Cameras.
Really? Careful what you're carrying there, buddy.
Sick Nick, how does our audio sound?
Sounds fine. Sounds good. How about me? Can you hear my chair squeaking?
A little bit. I hear a slight.
Can you see this incredible mess behind me that I should have cleaned up before I turned the thing on?
I see a couple whispers of a huge mess, but nothing.
I wasn't expecting to be on camera today. I was gonna go film a video, and then I got the invite. I was like, well, I better just stop what I'm doing and pop in for a few minutes.
Well, something you might be interested in regarding filming videos.
Yes. Hey, where's mine?
Ooh, twinsies. Which one you got?
The 9 black.
The 9. Nice, dude.
Oh,
I was looking at that one.
I got an iPhone.
Hey, dude, the iPhone is
Get out of here.
Wait a minute. Let me put it in its chassis.
Ooh, you have a chassis?
I do.
Nice.
Yeah, me too. It's by OtterBox, so if I drop it, it's good.
That's right. I did a couple videos going into different gun stores looking for ammo, and I was thinking about taking a GoPro, but I was like, you know what? No, I don't want to be that guy. So I would like palm the iPhone kind of like this, like I was some idiot just holding it against his chest that I was recording. The video quality on this thing is amazing. It's amazing what you can do with an iPhone.
Yeah, I mean, you're almost every cell phone camera is phenomenal. Hi, Andrea.
Hi.
Hey, sorry, dogs keep barking, so I'm trying to help.
She's sweet,
isn't she?
But yeah, so now you're the only lame-o without a GoPro, Pops.
Oh, man.
Just kidding. It's certainly not a requirement, but I'm really excited to figure out.
So what you're saying is the three people that can be seen right now are all lame-os, but I'm the only one without it. You're the lame-o without it. So you're a lame-o, he's a lame-o, and I'm a lame-o without it. Got it.
Well, yes, we are all lame-os.
It's true.
Thank you for pointing that out.
I like the term lame-o. That's kind of a fun one.
Is it as fun as the term peen?
It's a completely
ball
different
peen hammer. We're going back to hammers, a ball peen hammer.
What kind of hammer is that? Is that like a bolt action hammer because it's old school?
Yeah, it's okay to have as long as you have an anvil to go with it.
Excellent.
Actually, you need multiple licenses for it because it's so well rounded.
Ooh, mic drop. That was a good one.
Boom! Comedy gold.
You guys are ridiculous.
Well, I'm surprised the youngest one came up with the best dad joke so far today.
I've been working with a true father by the name of Riley recently, and we are in a dad joke competition.
That's outstanding.
Oh.
Have you worked with Kyle much?
For I think a total of 6 hours.
Okay.
Approximately. I've spoken 3 words to him, I think.
My daily goal whenever I'm working with him is to irritate him. And so I try all day long to piss him off. It's my get through the day thing, and I figured.
Oh, you do that to everyone. I miss
I
that.
figure I would have got to him by now, but I haven't. So I need to keep trying.
He and Bill were in, where's that, North Olmsted to give us a hand, and we went to lunch at the barbecue joint, and Bill and I were talking politics and lobbyists and anti-government this and yada 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 stonks, and he didn't say a word. He just kept looking at us like we were psychopaths. And then we all ordered a like $24 barbecue sampler platter. And he was like, "Oh, can I have the daily special, the grilled chicken sandwich? It's 50% off with the house mac and cheese." We're like, "Dude, come on!"
Yeah, that sounds like him. He's just he packs his lunch every day, and he brings it in his son's lunchbox, which is kind of cute.
Is it like a Tickle Me Elmo lunchbox, or like
No,
is he a
it's
brony?
It's like, are you familiar with 31? They sell like handbags and crap.
No.
Andrea worked for them for a while. Is the only reason I
Yeah,
know.
I was going to say it's a lady shop or whatever, right?
Yeah, you get lunch boxes or
Can't
whatever,
buy it.
and then they
Okay.
embroider your name and whatever picture on it. So it's like,
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about now.
I'm sure you've seen them. So that's what he's got. It's cute.
That's awesome.
Does it have his wife's face embroidered on it?
No, it's his son's name,
Well, that's cute.
isn't it?
Yep, it's much better than someone trying to get their wife's face tattooed on their elbow and it just never comes out right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's some horrible tattoos out there.
I cannot imagine why anybody would want to have a picture tattooed on a person's face. Even good ones don't look quite right.
Correct.
Your GoPro is beeping something aggressive in my monitor.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm fiddling with it because I'm. Does yours not beep?
No, it does. I purposely did not turn it on because I knew it was an aggressive beep.
But when I'm done here, I'm filming. Thank you very much.
Well, you're welcome very much. It's been a long time, Pickle Rickles.
It has been, man. This kind of nice just to hang out with you guys, just to shoot the shit.
Yeah,
Right.
That's our primary goal here. Big question. What are you doing next Saturday, the both of you? We're going to do some live scheduling here.
So Sunday is Andrea's birthday, and we probably won't do anything Sunday. So I'm trying to keep Saturday open to do something with her. So
Okay.
Saturday's OUT.
So what are you guys doing next Sunday?
Sunday afternoon, I'm free. From like 4 o'clock on, I'll be perfectly available.
How about you, Pops?
Let me check my schedule.
Perfect.
Got nothing that I know of.
Well, tentatively, even though I did provide you this beautiful emblem in the top right corner, it's temporary because I'd like for Sick Nick Gunsplain to be our guest on episode 2 officially, and not just shooting the shit, but getting grilled with questions.
Hell yeah, I'm there. Do you want me to give you a list of questions so I can game the game, or are you just gonna like pick stuff off my channel and go, I saw you made a video the other day and you muzzled your finger. What do you want to say for yourself?
You know what? I'll let you game the game a little bit just because we're close. But anybody listening know that you will not be able to game the game. We're just going to make up random questions that probably don't even make sense to who you are and what you do. And it's going to be a great time.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Like, when did you learn how to yodel?
On the spot right now.
All right, we need one
You
through
found out I can't.
so we can test people's yodeling. It's going to be our nipple dick question.
Ah, yes.
How well can you yodel? That's the last question. Thanks for coming
That's
on the show.
Yeah, please give us an example. We hear you cut a yodeling record.
I don't know where you guys did your research, but what?
You're wrong.
Well, and you played with the polka group, polka for 3 years. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Was he the polka king of the
Polka
Midwest?
out. Hey, I'm polka.
Yes, absolutely. You knew where I was going. That's awesome.
And I am in the dark.
That's awesome.
Got too many
We
old
just-
timers around me.
I mean,
It's from a movie.
Yep. It's probably an older movie than you
Released
are. I
in
can't believe it.
1940.
No,
When you guys
like
were a ripe age of 8.
1990.
I was 8 in 1940.
Wow, you've
You're
aged
better
really
at math
well.
than that.
What's your beauty regimen? You've aged like amazingly.
Mary Kay. You know,
There it is.
day-night solution and everything. So, yeah, it's nice.
And he's actually set up custom lighting, so it's hiding all the wrinkles.
Yeah, I've noticed that
Yeah.
you actually look like a human. I've got like cherry face right now, so I should probably do some like. Wait a minute.
Oh,
Does that help?
no.
You electricians are smart.
Aren't we? Hey,
Come on to our podcast looking like a cherry tomato.
you invited me last minute.
Oh, well, you downloaded a Twitch account last minute, so.
Yeah, so I could give you guys shit.
Which I
That
appreciate
switch
that.
used to control. I'm flipping it right now. Used to control an outlet, but now it controls the light. And I'm proud of that.
I am
You should be proud of that.
very proud of you.
All of the lights in my house are now ceiling lights. They don't have any more switched outlets.
Cool.
Switch
Look at you
outlets are
getting all grown up.
stupid.
They are stupid.
Do you have outlet covers on all of your receptacles in the rest of the house yet?
Nope, just the ones that I've changed.
So for our zero audience, Sick Nick and I are both electricians at the same company by trade, and we don't do a lot of electrical good outside of the working hours. So Rick's house is still missing covers, and I mean, hey, his switches don't switch receptacles anymore. So basically, he's a mad scientist.
Right. Hey, I fixed a three-way. I mean, I'm pretty amazing.
Who are you, Bill and I?
Dude, so funny story, electric-wise. I went on a service call this morning to that sugar place that Ty built with Aaron.
It's not nearly as bad as my service call experience, guaranteed.
You went on a service call this morning too?
No, but please, you first.
Well, I was just, it was an outlet where the terminal was touching the Madison strap, so it was blowing up. Oh, are you speaking of the service call?
Yeah, okay. So
Did you tell that story?
no, this hasn't been told yet. And actually, this service call spawned the idea for this podcast because of my dad's disgusting gifs and emojis that he sent in response to the tale. It was a dark day. You don't remember this? You sent me a picture of Patrick the starfish in bondage. And quite frankly, I don't think
I didn't make it. I just forwarded it.
I know. I don't know if you have the technological know-how to make a bondage starfish.
No. I can make a bird.
Was it that?
Right? That's not it.
Yeah, I think that's the one. Leather-clad Patrick the starfish winking at the camera.
Was it that?
No, but that one's worse, I think. The whole crevice and all. So, like halfway through the day, Riley and I went to lunch, and Bill had texted us and sent us to a service call regarding lost power in an office at some house. It was like 10 minutes down the road. So we roll up and meet the folks in the driveway, and it's just like little pixie haircut, older, like mid-40s woman, kind of, hipster style, and like a much older man. And, they're friendly enough, but just noticeably weird off the bat. Like, okay, so mid-COVID, we don our masks, finally get inside, and through our nice thick N95 masks, because we were just working in an attic, the whole place smells like an ammonia factory. Cat piss everywhere. Had to have been seeped into the carpet. Disgusting. And we're like, oh, okay, this is going to be a good time. So I'm like, what's the story? Where's the panel? Where's the receptacles? Tell me what's going on. And she's like, well, it's in the office. Let's go up to the office. So we go up there and take apart some outlets looking for a loose connection or something. Nothing obvious. So I'm like, okay, miss, I need to look at your panel. By this point, dude's left for the airport for some business meeting or something. And the more looking around, there's all kinds of weird pictures on the wall of like women in dominatrix kind of get-ups, and a little bit of a hoarding situation.
Be aware of your surroundings.
Yes, correct, as always.
Was it her in the domination situation, or was it other people?
I'm pretty sure it was her many years ago. So leads us office is upstairs, leads us back downstairs. I take a little side eye into the living room, and it's like 3 walls of shelves full of puzzles and games still in the packaging. So I think they got some kind of weird buy and resell situation going on, or just like, man, I really like this puzzle, I'm gonna buy 5 of them and never open them. Whatever, I don't know. So going to the basement, she leads the way and turns on the lights, and I'm side-eyeing in complete fear. Riley is just tunnel vision, doesn't notice somehow. I'm like, okay, thanks. Yep, okay, I'm just gonna look at this panel, start taking it apart. This giant like styrofoam Groot costume thing falls on me, attacks me. And I'm like, okay, that's probably covered in piss too. Fucking lean it back up, I'm terrified. Open up the panel, everything's fine. So, and then I can't help but to keep looking over after she finally went upstairs to the pegboard that covered the entire one wall of the basement that is just filled with whips and gags and cuffs and sex furniture and just everything that is red and black leather and terrifying. And just like in the middle is like a workout mat. Hopefully it's always been purple. And just like, I don't know, weird tie people up on kind of furniture. So I just like walk back upstairs, and we're thoroughly disgusted at this point. We didn't bring all of her tools because we're at lunch, so I'm like, Miss, we'll be back in a little bit. I gotta go get some stuff. Walk out, take our masks off, get in the van. I'm pretty certain Riley was crying, just hiding it pretty well. He was shook. He said, we have to go back in there. Can we just not? That'd be really nice. Could we not go get some tools and go back and go upstairs? I'm like, all right, so the issue's not on the panel, the issue's not in this room. I need to get into the room next to it so I'm just sure it's a loose connection on an outlet. She's like, okay, let me ask my son. Knocks on the door and is like, honey, the electricians need to look at some outlets, see if they're all working. And he's like, yeah, they're all working. She goes, okay, they're all working, no problem. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I need to go in there and open them. And she's like, oh, okay, hold on. Let me go in there and make sure they're decent. And goes in there and closes the door and is like, they're gonna come in, honey. So finally lets us in the room, and just poor kid. This kid's like, I don't know, 11, surrounded by sex furniture in the basement. House is covered in cat piss. Come to think of it, didn't even see a cat. Makes me really concerned about where the piss smell comes from.
Well, I always figured it wasn't cat piss. I thought maybe it was like something to do with their fetish.
Well, likely. So there's this young child in this house. There's fucking domination pictures on all the walls. There's a sex dungeon. Place covered in at least a little bit of cat piss. I'm sorry, at least a lot of cat piss, probably a little bit of human. And so finally get in there and finally lose connection, swap the outlet. This kid is transgender at 11, has a whole bunch of posters everywhere that's like, science was wrong, I'm a boy, not a little lady, and all this stuff. I'm like, this child's 11 and just locked in the room. And I didn't even look at the computer, didn't want to look at the computer screen that the kid was playing on. But Riley said that they're in some kind of weird forum. So my fear is the kid's already stuck in some kind of weird sex dungeon life situation, sitting on a forum talking to other 11-year-olds that are confused about their identity, talking weird shit while we're in there just trying to make the power turn back on. And so finish it up, fix it, get out of there. Don't even have her sign anything. And we're like, yeah, we'll take care of that later. All right, I gotta see. And get back in the van, and Riley and I were in complete silence for about 45 minutes.
That's
just
awesome.
Just shook. And then I had to text my dad. And I was like, "Yeah, I just had a really bad service call." He's like, "Really bad, like dangerous, almost blew up, or like fear for your life?" And I was like, "No, just fear for my sanity, for my innocence,
for my cleanliness."
So he just starts sending fucking BDSM, SpongeBob SquarePants gifts and shit to me.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks. I was disgusted. And I'm in there at Loeb talking to Fred. We told the guys at the supply house the whole story, and they're like, Wait, that was right before now? And y'all are in here right now? Did you wash your hands? Did you change your clothes? That's fucking disgusting. Get out of here. And then Fred's like, wait, hold on. Was she hot though? Can I have her number? And I was like, that's disgusting. I always took you as a pretty normal person. I don't want to hear that from you, Fred.
Right? I don't want to hear that again.
And basically the rest of the evening or two, I just kind of stared. Just
Good stuff.
Yep. A lot of beer.
How was your day,
You're
honey?
changing the channel, but the TV's not on. You're just like,
Yeah, and to make it worse, for some reason, the girlfriend was feeling frisky or something, sending kind of, innuendo texts shortly after that. And I was like, please don't say anything regarding anything dirty. I don't even want to know if the floor needs vacuumed. I don't need to know shit right now, okay?
How you doing, honey? Good. Nothing happened
Good.
at work? No.
No, don't give me the innuendo. I don't want to hear it.
So, yeah, and I guess, you're sharing that conversation with guys in the shop?
Yeah. I'm like, hey, guess what?
I wish you had taken some video while you were in there, like surreptitiously the headboard or whatever.
It's very aggressively vivid in my head, and I wish I could just transpose it for you.
Jaramillo took a picture at the donkey show. I would
like, oh, God. Oh. No.
I think GoPros don't have flash because in an imagining filming fucking God,
Hey, just tell them this isn't a camera. It's a heat sensor. I'm looking for the heat waves of the electricity, and
Yes.
yeah, don't worry about that.
Are you shooting video? No, of course not.
No, I'm following the path of electricity.
I'm sure I can't find that Jaramillo picture fast enough, but I was going to try. Matt, have you heard that episode?
I have not.
Oh, okay. We'll find it later.
Yeah, I actually gave him homework to listen to at least the intro of a number of podcasts, and I'm still pretty certain he has not. What's the status on that, Paul?
I'm still learning how to copy and paste.
All you have to do is click the link.
What?
Understood. That's okay. At least your experience with one podcast and it's
yeah. I mean, I'm the weakest link, so
no.
No, I'm not. Yeah, nice.
Your filming location is cleaner than mine. You got that going for you.
Yeah, I wiped it down when I got here.
That's good.
So,
what? Because Andy's been getting aggressive over all the pictures of the influencers.
No,
really?
No, he's probably dressed like Patrick right now.
Oh, cheesy Christmas, man! Could you not?
You're welcome.
Also, I'm a caster now. It's been too many days with Bill. Oh, cheesy Christmas.
Cheesy Christmas. Andy, wow. I'll always think about Serpa holsters when I think about him.
Yes.
Are we sure he's not the one that returned it to you? Oh, wait, that was the part.
Well, I mean, you work at a really nice holster company, and yet you come into work with a crappy Blackhawk Serpa. Come on, man.
It is.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It's insulting.
But he stopped by. I don't know, 2 weeks ago, probably 2 weeks ago, and he was complaining that his feet were cold.
I know where this is going.
Right? Yeah, there's 6 inches of snow outside, and you're wearing your house slippers with no socks.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm like, so that's why your feet are cold. Yeah, but it shouldn't be. Okay. Don't walk in snow drifts. Just wear the house shoes and no socks. Well, there shouldn't be snow drifts. Yeah, move to Florida. Have a good time. Right?
Mm-hmm. You're living in the snow belt, dude. What you want?
Yep.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna wrangle you guys back in. We got one more topic to discuss.
Oh crap. Okay.
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 All right.
Okay. All right. I would like to talk about one piece of gear that's on your radar to pick up soon regarding, the life of Pew Pew. What y'all looking at? What y'all wanting?
I have an answer.
Okay, go.
So we're not allowed to show guns, right? But
I don't know. I don't think so.
I can show this, right?
As far as I'm aware,
Okay, all right. It's not a gun. It's plastic.
it's just a block of plastic. Yeah.
Yeah, we just tell everyone that says PBO, right? See?
Anyway, I need yes, PBO, the cheaper version of PBR. Anyway, I need a slide and I need a completion kit. So that's what's on my radar.
Wow, that was easy. You had it ready to go. What size is that? Is that
That's a 19 size.
Okay.
I got on a rabbit hole, a wormhole. I went down a wormhole today thinking about how I could fit my Glock 26 slide on it, but I don't know if I can. It would take a lot of channel milling in the recoil spring area, and there's a lot less plastic in the Polymer 80 because they got that full pick rail. I think if I started channeling it out, I would lose the dust cover. So I don't know.
Well, you know what we could just do instead? We could just do some kind of trade or something. I'll take your 26.
Yeah.
And I can have a 2619. Boom.
What are you going to trade me?
I'll get back to you. All
okay. All right. Cool. Nothing's happening today. Anyway.
Oh yeah. No, I get. So okay, P80. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I'm excited to see it and fondle it and drop it on the ground without realizing that I'm just throwing your gun on the ground. Oh,
that's okay. If it can't handle the abuse, then I don't need it in my life.
That is my favorite perspective. What about you, old timer? What are you looking at?
I don't know. I haven't given it much thought.
Oh, man, if only I could have figured out how to get you to access the show notes earlier.
Well, I know. I'm just saying.
Did you do the show notes either?
No, we just got to figure out.
There's show notes?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, come on. That's good.
I couldn't get into my Gmail. I was like,
It's funny.
And then I realized the keyboard was turned off.
Oh,
so.
Self burn. Those are rare.
Right?
Well, that's okay. You ain't got to have anything, but I'll go ahead with mine. Have you guys seen the Magpul DACA line? I believe.
Yeah, I know of it.
Yeah, they recently released it's like a portable magnetic tray. So it's like almost like a, I don't know, school binder material or something, like thick plasticky flexible situation. And it folds flat, and then it's got like clasp button on the four sides. So you can store it flat and then pull it out at the range or something, make a little tray out of it. It's got a magnet in there. So if you're doing some kind of weird gunsmithing at the range, you're not losing springs and things other than them flying off into the atmosphere.
That's really smart.
All right. Actually, if I could.
It's smart.
That's awesome. I thought you were going to describe like one of those EDC dump trays, which are cool, but not really amazing. But those magnetic, cool, that's awesome.
Really amazing. Let's see here.
Nothing more fun than taking apart some fiddly gun thing and sending a detent spring into low Earth orbit.
Or if you're not outside, you got to figure out, is it behind the entertainment center or maybe it went all the way to the refrigerator? Yeah, you have no idea.
Right. The very first time I put an AR together, some dude at the gun store told me, I got a really big Ziploc bag and I put everything inside it and I built it in there. It's like, that's kind of a cool idea. And I tried it and it didn't work. There wasn't enough room.
I have a glass aquarium that I put gloves on.
Yeah.
Come in the side. I think I got it from a hospital patient.
But yeah,
so inside a fish tank.
I don't know if you guys can see this, but here's some images of it.
Oh, that's cool.
That is cool. How much it is?
$27.95 for the large, and they also have a smaller version.
Oh, that's not bad.
which is, I don't know, I think like $18 or so. So yeah, it's
How,
just
how
not too
large is
shabby.
the large?
yes, tech specs is probably the place to be. It is 11.5 by 11.5.
Oh, sweet.
Oh,
Okay,
no,
I'm
that's
on board.
flat. So yeah, folded up, 8 3/4 interior.
I'm on board. That's cool.
Right? Cool. So at some point, maybe I'll pick one up and we can all fondle it in person.
Sweet. People like to hate on Magpul these days. I don't know why. I think they're still on top.
Yeah, I don't understand why either, because everything Magpul I've ever had is affordably priced and super skookum.
Right, right. Not everything is a. I think some of their stuff is a solution looking for a problem, but a lot of it is really cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta have fun.
Like I never had an original Magpul. Like, did you, Matt? Did you have one of those things that you put on the base plate of your M16 mag? Neither did I. That was a solution looking for a problem, but I guess it's what got their business off the ground. Everything else is cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I never used one. I have one from their anniversary. It's a gold one. It's all sparkly or whatever. I think that's awesome. It's on my shelf in my office.
Well, I had one. Too much crap in my office right now.
Yeah. So I think they're pretty neat. But yeah, I never use one because I go in, get my mag, and run with it. So
Right. I never had trouble getting my magazine out of the carrier.
nope.
I haven't had
Anyway.
a problem. So yeah. Okay. So that concludes everything I have as far as what I wanted to discuss today. We're approaching on 2 hours, so I think we'll cut episode 1 just about there. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. If there is anybody ever there to listen to this episode 1, again, this is the ATF Cast. And it's a play on the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms dickholes, but instead we're anything that fires. So if you're ever interested in tuning in to listen about rockets and politics and pew-pew machines and everything in between, you can find us live streaming on Twitch every weekend-ish. We'll figure it out. And we'll also...
Or your new favorite truck.
Yo, who?
Or your new favorite truck.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like the I don't know. I just want to throw that out there.
I like it.
Yeah.
In the future, once I figure out how to edit to my standards that I have in mind, you'll be able to find us on all the podcast platforms, iTunes, Stitcher, maybe even Spotify. Who knows? But thanks for tuning in here. And we're going to cast. Tune in next week to catch Gunsplaining on. We'll interview him and piss him off. And
All I can hear is music.
blah, 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 blah. We'll figure out the volumes later.